What's good, family? What's good? IOBA. My name is TC. So, I think it was yesterday, day before yesterday, I posted a video about that young man that got murdered in New York City by Daniel Penny, the ex-Marine who choked Jordan Neely to death. I did a video about that. And I talked about how we, as black people, need to adopt a policy of no more soft targets. Meaning, ain't no pushovers out there. Somebody always there to protect somebody who can't protect themselves. Even if it's just a phone call, even if it's just, filming the situation and documenting the situation with the intent of, turning it over to the authorities or something. But don't just fucking stand there and watch it happen. Then and a policy of actions have consequences. But today, I had a little downtime at work, and I was, doing a little research on some things, and I came across a group called the Deacons for Defense and Justice. Yeah, the Deacons for Defense and Justice. So I started, researching a little bit and going down the line there and looking at all the various articles on them. And apparently it was an organization. I'm going to read this little piece right here. The Deacons of Defense and Justice was founded in 1964 in Jonesboro, Louisiana, to protect civil rights activists from the Ku Klux Klan. The organization was made up of veterans from World War II who believed in armed self-defense. Now, they came along before the Black Panther Party for self-defense. The Deacons for Defense. I like that. I like that a lot. I like finding out that there were people in the black community who didn't just lay down and get ran over by these white mobs, who actually fought back. And I mean, they won some battles, because from what I was reading, one county down in Louisiana, had the old goddamn sheriff had to call a truce. But once they started defending themselves, the Klan attacks dropped significantly. Once they started defending themselves. Apparently this was in the 1960s, 1964. I was 7 years old when that shit was going on. And all of the activism and stuff that I've done over the years, I never heard of this organization. And they had started getting chapters all across the country. So what happened to them? Well, the same thing happened to them that happened to all other black organizations. They got infiltrated by J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. All they need is one nigger to get in there and they could take a organization down. So that's what happened to them. But while they were there, in the short time that they existed, they were a really, really, really consequential force in the black community. And they really, really protected our people. Motherfuckers can say what they want about Grandmaster Jay. Now, I know a lot of people don't forget about him. I know. I get it. I understand. But people can say what they want about him. Maybe he was for real. Maybe he wasn't. I tend to think he was, because he had some sort of epiphany that woke his ass up. Because if he wasn't for real, if he was a total fraud, he wouldn't be doing 30 years in prison. He'll be still out here selling the fucking soap. But I digress. When he came around, I said this before, when he was in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and he had all of them brothers in them goddamn black BDUs carrying them assault rifles. And that line just went on and on and on. Prior to that, motherfuckers was getting lynched from trees. Right after that scene was shown on the internet, a lot of that lynching went away. because they saw something that struck fear in their ass. And the powers that be immediately jumped all over it and neutralized it. Or drove it underground anyway. I'd like to think they drove it underground. I don't think NFAC is totally neutralized. I like to think it's been driven underground. But that scared the living shit out of a lot of white people. That imagery. That meant that not only are we not soft targets, we fully prepared and equipped to defend ourselves. Now, all of them men with all of them guns still out there. All them black people with all that firepower were still out there. I don't even have to tell nobody what that could fucking lead to. But just know that ain't nobody going out without a fight. And it's going to be a lot more balanced than it was back in the 1800s and early 20th century when them white boys used to pull off the massacres. It ain't going like that. Not in 2000 whatever. I'm saying all that to say this. Motherfuckers is, I don't know, they seem to be trying to make black people do something stupid. But the operative word is defense here. It ain't about going out looking for white people to fuck up. It's about keeping white people from looking for us so they can fuck us up. You dig me? It ain't about going out looking for shit, looking for problems with white people. It's about white people who come looking at us as if we a problem. And looking at our defenseless individuals as easy targets that they can make examples out of. That shit can't be allowed to continue. It can't, and it won't. It can't and it will not. This last murder, this white boy who killed Jordan Neely, let that be the last time some shit like that go down like that. You got whole motherfucking truckloads of white boys chasing down brothers. This happened, about a couple weeks ago, young brother. Whole truckload of white boys chase him down. Tear his body apart. He called his mom. He called the police. He did everything he was supposed to do. They caught him and they murdered him and tore his body apart. Or whatever they did to him. Look. It ain't no time. This ain't the time to be piling up with a whole group of white boys. If you live in an area where there's very few brothers up there, watch yourself when you're around a whole gang of them motherfuckers and it's just you. Because I've been in that situation. I would never go nowhere with them. I would never get too drunk around them. I was very careful when I got around them motherfuckers. Because ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. You might could take two of them, but 4 or 5 of them going to get you. And ain't no telling where you going to wind up at. Be very careful when you hanging out with your white boy buddies and y'all drinking and bullshitting. And you the only brother there. Be very careful. Because you don't know when they're going to turn on you. You don't know. I tell you what, though, if something goes sideways during the course of the evening, your black ass going to be the only one go to jail. There's a good chance of that. No, man. I ain't even going to say I hate sounding like, a divisive person, but a little divisiveness is good sometimes. Get the hell away from these crazy ass people. They don't like us anyway. And for the life of them, they can't leave us the fuck alone. White people, generally speaking, don't like black people anyway. Anybody who identifies as white doesn't like black people. Leave us the fuck alone, and we will thrive. But just know, all that running up on black people, doing what you think anything you want to, that is over with. That is over with. You might catch a motherfucker slipping here and there, but by and large, that shit is over with. No more soft targets. And with that, I'm on bounce. TC, and I'm out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and listen for my next commentary. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.